All right, so now that we are good at graphing lines from a point with positive slope, now we're going to look at the negative slope. So these are only going to have negative slope. Note that your quiz will have both positive and negative slopes all thrown in together, so you do need to know the difference, but this gives you lots of good practice. Remember that you still graph your point. So you're going to start at your point 4, 2. So starting at the origin, you go right 4, up 2. Here's your point. And then, so after that, remember, you can, don't worry about that anymore. So now I'm going to worry about my slope says. So my M, remember, is slope, which is rise over run. And so my M is negative 3/4, like that. Well, you're thinking, well, where does the negative go? Does it go to one? Does it go to the other? Or does it go to both? The answer is it can go to one or the other, but it cannot go to both. So it can either go to the 3, so I can go down 3, right 4. Oh, and like I couldn't do it again, so then I need to flip it, just like we did with the positives, and I can go up 3 and left 4. So I can go up 3 from my point and left 4. And that's all so those are the only the only points that I get, and it does make a nice, good straight line. So I graphed everything correctly. Now notice that this slope is actually sloping down because it's a negative slope instead of sloping up, which was the positive slope before. Let's look at the second example here. We have 1, negative 3 is my point that I'm going to start at. So right 1, down 3. All right, and so here, now again, don't worry about those numbers anymore. I'm looking at my M. So my M is slope, remember, and that is rise over run. Now remember, whoa, hold up again, because now looks like I don't have a run. So remember, when you have a whole number, you make it a fraction essentially and put the divisor as 1, okay? So the denominator is 1. So I'm going to go down 1, right 1. Down from that one. And on these with 1, you don't have to go all the way across if you don't want to. And then I ran out of room going that way to go the other way. Remember, I could flip it, so I can have a positive 1 over a negative 1. And so flipping it up 1, left 1 the whole time. So, I can go through here and put all my dots, but at least get a few on each side if it's negative 1. The rest of them I'd like for you to do all the way across, but with 1, that's quite a few dots. All right, so there's our line going through 1, negative 3, slope of negative 1. It's sloping down, just like negative numbers or negative slopes will do. All right, so remember that with this one, the negative can either go with the numerator or the denominator, but never both. If it does with both, that ends up being a positive. So that's why it does not go to both. All right, so remember, plot your point over, then up or down. Then do rise over run for your slope. So that's it, graphing lines through a point with a negative slope.